Hey Trader, welcome back to another top tier interview. Brittany Hughes here, and I have a special guest with us today to lead us through a conversation. Before we get into it though, I want to remind you to like this video as well as subscribe to our top tier YouTube channel so you can continue to be updated and notified whenever we have a new interview coming your way. So today's guest, I have Donyell Green. Welcome to Top Tier Interviews.
Well, it's good. Thank you for having me on. What's good, everybody? It's Mr. Green, the Flip King. And like a pimp named Slickback, you got to say the whole thing. I got to do my thing every time.
That's it, every time. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
I'm doing amazing. How you doing?
Good, good. I like to start these conversations out with giving you your flowers and asking what most recent achievement you want to share with us. It could be trading related, it can be personal, but we want to celebrate you to begin with.
Most recent achievement, I would just say like super extra commitment towards my fitness journey. That's a big one. So I've been like always kind of like not knowing exactly how to gym, if that's the right way.
Yeah.
But like now I feel like so confident about going to the gym and my regimen right now. So definitely starting 2024 with like health, fitness on top right now.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen or noticed any correlation to you being more consistent in the gym and your performance when it comes to trading?
Yeah, most definitely. It's not just one thing or the other. You have to do a plethora just to keep yourself at a baseline level of performance when it comes to trading. You got the gym, you got like your actual emotional side, your spiritual side, and those things could be out of whack, and it will definitely reflect on your performance. So I try to balance as much as I can, which is, some things are going to be lacking a little bit, but, you got to keep trying is the goal. Like, don't just leave it there. Oh, it's not enough. And then you let it linger and get further and further away. Nah, just do what you can do to keep a balance.
Yeah, try to find the balance as best as you can.
As best as you can for your circumstance. Just keep trying. Like, don't just set it off to the side because you feel like you're not giving enough attention to it. The attention that you're giving to it will be something substantial.
Yeah, 100%. How long have you been trading for?
5-6 years.
5-6 years.
Started got introduced to it at the end of 2017.
Okay.
It was around the same time that my son was born, so like everything was hitting at one time. My son was just born. I was getting into trading, so that was definitely a crazy time for me. So it's like it fell in my lap at the perfect moment for sure.
And what were you doing before you were exposed to trading?
I was like really super focused on rapping and making music, like super heavy. I had my own studio and stuff like that. So whenever I started trading and stuff, I kind of started slowly setting that to the side because I'm like, it's going to take me longer and a different level of exposure that I might not actually want versus like following this path, and then I'll be able to get more out of it in the long run. So when I found trading, I kind of set that down to the side to focus more on something serious and sustainable.
Okay. And how were you exposed to trading?
Through a company called IML.
Okay, yeah.
So whenever I got introduced to that, I got into it like everybody else getting into it, not knowing 100% what it was. But literally once they was like pitching me on, you can make money from your phone, then that's like where I was already like lost in the sauce with it. I went full deep. It was funny. Yeah, I got introduced to IML. And then after that, it was more so of like self-learning because I hate going into the dialogue of that shit because we all know how it was.
It's an
exposure.
That's it.
Yes, yeah. I got the exposure at the end of 2017.
Okay.
And then from there, it was self-learning. And then 2019, when I went to Grant Cardone conference, I met a guy there, and he was telling me like, buy this guy's course. So I was buying courses like, because I was self-learning at that point.
And what were you learning from? Like YouTube?
YouTube, and mainly watching the charts was helping me a lot. I thought I was knowing what I was doing by looking at them charts, and I was on like the 1 minute time frame. During this time, I was only trading US 30 on a 1 minute 1 minute to 3 minute,
Okay.
and I was doing amazing. And then when I started learning more, I fell out of my profit. I fell out of my
Mm.
consistent my flow because I was only on a 1 minute and 3 minute. I wasn't exposed to like higher time frame that the reason why this stuff is happening. You could go to the higher time frame and get like a clearer picture sometimes. I
Mm-hmm.
guess it depends on what instrument though as well, because even to this day I can see really clearly on the lower time frames because of all that time that I spent on them. So definitely was a big learning curve from going from being in the game, being profitable. So like my journey has been like this from the beginning
Okay.
because of like trying to learn and figure the stuff out, and then I'm immediately applying stuff as I get it to me.
And are you applying it on a live account or
Yes,
demo?
live account. So look,
Okay.
as soon as my guy told me about like make money off your phone, I'm like, what app? MT4. Okay, boom, download MT4. What I gotta do? What? Okay, this broker. Okay, what I gotta do next? Boom, put me money in the account. I'm like, sell. Let's go. We in. We doing this right
Without
now.
knowing really what
Without
you're
knowing, no,
doing.
no. I'm just
Interesting.
looking at the charts,
Yeah.
like trying to put logic together. Like this looks like this what it's going to do next.
Mm-hmm.
I do that today now. Like still to this day. Like try to, because sometimes we overcomplicate by trying to learn so much
Mm-hmm.
that if you dumb it down, it's just when this is like speaking now, skipping years, that you dumb it down, the simplicity is key, and the main thing be your risk management more than a lot of other factors that you thought it was. It was just you got to get your risk right. Then that's what is causing like a lot of your downfall. It wasn't like, oh, you was doing this on a lower time frame. No, it was just like you were probably just over leveraging, or
Mm-hmm.
you could have probably won a trade if you wasn't trying to aim for so much stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. When
That
you
I
first
wasn't.
started out, though, with the strategy that you learned through YouTube and then you started investing in courses, did your strategy change over time?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because like the thirst for knowledge is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You just feel like there's never enough, and you don't know enough because you kind of go based off the results that you want. Oh, I don't know enough, so because I'm not making this much money, so I gotta go back and learn. That's how I was like thinking, like something's going wrong, or I'm not making the money that I want to make. It's got to be something else. So I gotta, or maybe this guy might have a secret gem here or a secret.
Okay.
So I was always in search for the secret gem,
Mm-hmm.
which kept me on the hunt to keep trying to learn and learn and learn and learn. And through that, actually helped me build who I am as a trader, because I'm taking piece from him, and then figure out this don't work, this works. This don't work, this works for me personally.
I was going to ask, do you feel like it helped you or did it feel like it hindered you? Because there's one side of it where a lot of people think they're searching for this gym
Yeah.
and they never find it.
And then you end up falling out of profit.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But you think it contributed to your success because
In the long run.
okay.
Probably in the short run, all those fluctuations, switching you don't get enough data
Mm-hmm.
to figure out if it works or not, if you're switching strategies
Exactly.
too much. And I won't necessarily say like I was switching strategies.
Okay.
I was more so like trying to add on to what I had already was learning.
Got it.
So that's what, like, okay, this may, okay, so let's add it. Okay, candlestick closes. Oh, let's add that. Oh, wicks. Oh, let's add that. So that's how I was going with it. Like whatever I see that's going to contribute to my understanding of the markets, because I felt like I didn't really understand what was going on when I looked at the charts. So I wanted to like feel more confident in what am I looking at here? Yeah, they say a double bottom, this, that, the third, but
What does that mean?
what does that mean?
How does it impact my edge per se?
Yep, exactly. So trying to like be more refined on my skill set is what pushing. Like, okay, I need to learn. It's just something you'll feel like a lack or something. You looking in the markets like, why don't I know this? Like, what does this mean? And then you're going to try to figure it out. Like, where do I go? Who do I look? Who do I look to? Where do I find something? And you're going to find it. If you, no matter what question you got in life, if you ask it, you're going to get.
You'll
the
receive
answer.
the answer. Yeah. How long did it take you to become profitable? So you were exposed in 2017.
Yeah.
You were teaching yourself through 2019.
Yeah.
And
so, from 2019, just all courses and stuff like that. So I was pretty much profitable. We talk about being profitable because I never started with a lot of money. So when I first hit on a big trade, that's what made me profitable, to start playing with profits. And then after that, then I fell off from my profit, because you think that you got it figured out when you start making the money the first time. Like, oh, this is it. I done did it. And then now you feel cocky. Your risk is getting up. Everything starts to switch when you feel like you got it cracked. And I feel like I went through that stage thinking that I had it figured out, and I didn't.
And how long? When was that? 2 years in? 3 years in?
I feel like that was my second year in.
Okay.
I thought I had it figured out, and I didn't have it all the way figured out. So it was still like rocky road, like consistently going through, okay, what is it that I missed? I always just felt like it was something, you're there, but it's just something hindering. I knew it from the beginning that I was trying to make so much money in a short amount of time that's what was hindering me.
Yep.
I was trying to get there too quick. And that's why I tell people, if they like, bro, if you got any advice, I was like, the faster I try to get there, the longer it took. The longer it's going to take you. If you're trying to rush this process, you're going to delay everything, because you're trying to bet it all. And I was like, you're trying to put too much on these moves, and you start realizing that the market's not going nowhere. The move's not going nowhere. It's a setup every single day. You're not missing nothing. But that take that time and the growth to go and figure that out, versus in the moment, like, man, I need a new lamb. Like, I need a house. I need this. And you're thinking so far into the future. So you're trying to trade like that without even having that type of capital. You just believe that you can do it. And then that's when you start messing. That's
without
when
having the capital, but also not even really having the skill.
Not having the skill set, because it's not the capital. It's not. That's what I realized. It's not the capital. And this is what I'm saying. You hitting your head constantly hitting the wall. Like, what is going on? And I just kept struggling with that. Like, you're trying to get there too quick. You're just trying to get there too quick. It's not that you don't have the skill per se. You're just trying too hard.
Yeah.
You're overcomplicating this stuff. And that's really what I really figured out. Like, I'm overcomplicating. I'm doing too much.
I found that the less I did per se, I mean, chart time is everything. Being able to back test, being able to mark up your charts and train yourself to see your A+ setup throughout the different market conditions. That's one thing. And those are like non-negotiables. Like, those are things that just you need to be done. But when it comes to doing too much, I found that the less I did, the better I became.
That's a fact.
I even if it's
less on the charts,
having to take two weeks off. I took the month of October off, really, because my life was doubling down on me and my psychology wasn't there. And I was like, I needed to just take a step back, because I felt myself putting myself in situations where I was doing too much. And then coming back from that, clear-minded.
I wanted to ask a question.
Yeah.
In that time of that break, was you feeling like, my skill set is not going to be as strong as it was?
Yep. I was fearful that I would lose it.
I'm gonna lose my profitability. I'm gonna lose my mojo.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I was feeling the same exact way. Like, you feel like you can't take breaks because it's gonna mess up your edge.
Yep.
And that is it couldn't be more wrong. I think breaks are like, they're looked down upon, but it's extremely necessary for traders, because this is 100% mental game. And mental strain is real as hell. And that is like something big, especially when you're doing this journey on yourself. We have nobody to go to. There's no real mental coaches and people to help you out, like going through the worst of the worst when it comes to this, especially when you are somebody who is giving their all into this. It takes an even bigger mental toll on you, because you're not reliant on any other. Your back is against the wall. So when something is going wrong with your main thing, the pressure is that much more. So I understand what you're talking about. Like, when you leave, you having all these different doubts and thoughts and stuff. But when you come back, you're like, I feel like I trade better.
I'm better.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
It's really interesting how that works. And it takes a level of self-awareness to kind of talk yourself off of that ledge of being fearful that you are going to lose it, and understanding that, to your point, breaks are imperative. And until you take a break and then you realize that you actually did come back better. That's when, now, if let's say, you know, at another point in time in the future, if I feel like I need to take a break, I'm not for certain, I can't say this for certain, but I'm confident that I'll have those less fearful thoughts because
Yeah.
now I understand the importance of those breaks.
And you need those breaks, especially say you had like a hell of a couple weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not a cool down, but it's like you can have more of those weeks if you 4 weeks winning and then go take a vacation, and then you come back and you're doing the same thing, if not better. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely, I'm gonna be an advocate for the take a break. Sometimes, like, don't even look at a chart because the urge will be there. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
if when I'm not trading, I still want to look at the charts. Like, it's such a, if you do it so long, it becomes that second nature of like checking your phone type thing. So
Yeah.
it's the same thing. It feels good to not look at a chart sometimes. So when you're
Mm-hmm.
taking those breaks and you need those, like, it don't matter what Nas is doing, what gold is doing, what price it is. None of that matters because there's going to be a setup. Like, we're unless you're swinging and holding moves for years and stuff, that stuff won't even matter. And even then, it don't matter because why are you worried about today or tomorrow or a week when you're focusing on years from now? So
Mm-hmm.
in the end, as you look at it, being an intraday trader, we do too much in general. We're scavenging around like we don't got no heads on our body.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
How has psychology played a role in your trading journey? You mentioned that
That was
visually.
a big part that I missed out on even talking about, because during that time of even getting introduced to IML, I was going through like a big transformational journey in myself, which
Mm,
even got me to that point of even getting more things introduced to me, because I was just focusing solely on personal development in my mind every single day. I was just listening to books, and I still do that to this day. I have my Alexa on autopilot right now with certain books, and I
mm,
change it out. But she's been reading to me for years. She doesn't turn off. Like, it's different times she come on during the
mm-hmm.
night, during the day. It does not turn off. So I spent years just building on my mindset. And then when trading came in, I added that much more just building on. And I feel like from the personal development side of what I had already been doing was kind of tying into it too. Because it doesn't end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you work on yourself, it's a lifetime commitment of trying to unlearn and relearn and reprogram yourself from the habits that you've been doing since you was a child. Like, we do these things on autopilot without even thinking. Like, the way that you breathe, walk, these things are like instilled in you from your environment, your parents, your brothers, your sisters, and it weigh on you to act a certain way, think a certain way. And then everything you do does end up reflecting in the charts.
Mm-hmm.
So
Magnifies.
magnify. So in order for you to like break certain barriers, you have to step away from the charts and step into yourself and try to crack the code on what is going on internally that I haven't healed and I haven't resolved. And then you resolve that, and then you end up having more clarity on the charts. It kind of might not make sense to people until they start doing the self work, and then they come back to the charts with a different type of mindset in the first place, because you might have like a lot of self-limited beliefs that telling you like you can't do this, you shouldn't be doing this, you're not good at this. That was another thing with myself as well, like not
Mm.
believing that I was doing what I was doing. What do they call that?
Like imposter syndrome?
Exactly.
Mm.
You don't really understand, and it takes for other people to tell you, because you're not going to tell yourself. You always think that, oh, I could do better. I could do better. I fucked up. I know. But it's like, you do have to give yourself your flowers, give yourself praise, because
Mm-hmm.
we are our number one criticizers. We're going to beat ourselves up. We always think that we could do better. We always think that we're doing something wrong if we're not in the place that we want to be in life.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you're on that journey, I feel like you need to go in the mirror every single day to build yourself up, because nobody's going to do that for you. And you building yourself up will build yourself up in multiple other ways. And how you see yourself is how other people see you. So
Mm-hmm.
if you don't see yourself in a highlight, nobody else is going to see you in that highlight either. Nobody else is going to respect you in that way if you don't respect yourself. So it's all personal development. Like, you can't do anything. You won't be successful in anything. It's trading, real estate. It doesn't matter because it's who you are. When you look in the mirror, when you go to sleep, it's all dependent on who you are as a person.
What was reflecting for you on the charts? I think like there's these overarching things that I think a lot of traders struggle with until they find a way to move through it and to overcome it. But fear, greed, fear of missing out on opportunity.
Yeah.
What was showing up for you?
I feel like I never had a fear of entering the market at times. It was more so like greed, like feeling like I never made enough, never did enough. So I was always like chasing, like, and the fear of missing out. If something was going on, I feel like maybe that played a part into it, because then you start doing impulsive things. So I know for a fact I've always had like a super high risk tolerance. So getting in the markets and like putting money up is never been my problem.
Was never the issue.
No.
And then what did you do to?
It's like I needed to train my energy towards the right things, because it's like, it's good if you use it correctly. So if you got a weapon that's untrained, unprogrammed, it's gonna be chaotic. So you have to figure out your strengths and weaknesses, and that's a strength of mine. So it's like, find your edge. You might be risk averse, which is an edge in itself. You know how to manage your money probably better than I know how to manage my money in the market. So everybody has a different edge, and my edge is like not having such a super big attachment to the money that I'm putting in or anything that I'm risking in general. Not having a super big attachment, thinking of the outcome, the possibility of what could happen. And that comes just from, if you don't have nothing, never had nothing, it doesn't matter that you can go back to nothing for real. Like, because I know that no matter what, with my mindset, it's impossible for me to go back to where I started. So that's why I don't have a fear of anything happening. I just go full throttle with how I trade, because I can't go back. Like, it's impossible at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's once you have been exposed. It's like, what's that one saying? It's like, you can't unsee what you've seen. And so same with learning, right? You can't. I mean, you can revert back to old habits.
That's a
if
fact.
you allow for yourself to. But being growth oriented and having a growth mindset, if everything was taken away tomorrow, you still have this, which is ultimately what got you.
What have you been training yourself for over years of time? And then that's how it reflects. If you've been training yourself to like not be able to be strong-minded or consistent or a thinker, if those are not things that you've been putting years and time into, then it's going to reflect if in case anything does happen. It's funny because I thought about this a long time ago. No matter what, they can't take your mind. So I try to invest as much money into my mind, because all the money goes there and they can't take it away. So if I put $10,000 into education, $20,000 into education, it's going to stick with me for life. It's like, I can lose everything today and go rebuild it again and again and again and again and again. It won't ever stop. And that's the thing with skill set. Get it right. You can start from zero, rebuild it again, and people don't understand that in trading, thinking that if somebody lost something, there's no losses in this game unless you quit. That's how I think about it. I never lose anything until I quit. If I say, okay, I'm done with trading, I'm no longer going to trade again, and I haven't made profit in the markets, then you became a failure in trading. But to me, when I was in those stages, and was losing a lot of money in the beginning, I had always thought like, it's going to be a year or a day or a month to where you're going to make back all these losses. And it took you 3 years to lose it. It took you a couple days, a month, whatever, or you're getting it monthly at this point. I've always had it in my mind, your losses are going to be monthly wins for you eventually. So that, having that instilled in me, made it to where it's like, there's no quitting. There's no not depositing money into the markets, because one day is going to be a fruit. It's going to show its hand to me.
I selfishly love sitting in on these conversations and being able to conduct them, just because I get the gems. Like, I take mental notes. And so everything that you're saying right now is really, 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 really resonating with me and truly inspiring me. Having that rock solid mind, ultimately, that diamond mind. You mentioned that you're an intraday trader. I want to talk about setups, like your A plus setup, when you
Yeah.
are opening up the markets, you're looking at the charts, what it is that you're looking at, what time frame you trade on, and what the pair you trade.
Yeah, I mainly focus on gold, NAS, or I just want to say NAS or gold and indexes
Okay.
is my forte. And I mainly just look at the trend, overall trend, and try to make sure that I'm in the right direction. First and foremost, when I open up my chart, where are we at? Where are we going? And that's the first two things. Where are we at? Where are we going? Are we trending? Are we consolidating? And if I see we're in a consolidation market, it's not even a point to really care unless I can find a range. If I can find a range, then we can play between the range. Um, I wouldn't necessarily say like time frame that I lock into too much. I definitely go off the daily and stuff to direction, monthly direction, and then 4 hour to start playing with the levels of where we at in the 4 hour. So marking up the highs and the lows and seeing what range are we in within that window. How many pips is in that range? And mainly I use like fibs, breaks of levels, confirm closes. So if the candle doesn't close somewhere in my favor, then it's not worth me entering until I see something in my favor. I need to see something because it's been so many times to where, and that's the thing about trading, it's so dynamic because it's a time to where I'm not going to wait on the candle close. I just know that price is going to go there and I'm willing to take the risk because I'll pull out my risk management and see this. Oh, it's only 20 pips to make 150. I'm going to take that no brainer just to off risk to reward. So some of my trades may not even be based off of tech, more so price and risk to reward. So I'm willing to take a good chance on it. If it makes sense to me, if direction makes sense, then I might take chance impulsively going towards that way. So if we're going bullish and we just closed above something, I'm not going to wait on any more confirmations. I might check, okay, if it was a pullback, this will invalidate this trade, and I just get in and then let it ride. So that's been helping me a lot. Just candle closes and also wait on the direction and trying to be as dynamic as possible because the market can change. And then it's always a if this, then what situation. And it's been times to where if I wasn't dynamic, I miss out on the whole entire move because I'm waiting on too many confluences or confirmations for something to happen. Other than just if you would have got on the charts and seeing how much you're risking, then you might have been like, oh, okay, that's no problem. But if you're looking for, oh, I got to do this, then it's already moved past, or your entry is like 150 pips past where I was already at. So I'd rather get in small, and they call it's weird to me because they might say like, oh, this is a high risk play because it's unconfirmed. But it might be unconfirmed to you on your time frame, depending on what you're looking at. But it might be fully confirmed to me, just based off of what I'm seeing in this moment, as well as I might confirm it to myself. Like, I'm only risking 10 pips. I'm gonna take it. So I kind of base it off of all circumstantial kind of.
Okay.
So
do you utilize fundamentals at all?
I look at them.
Okay.
I say I look at them because I trade news. Or my setup is already in and news pushes it in my favor more. So it's kind of, I wish I was stronger on fundamentals, but then at the same time, it's like the whole time I've been trading, I haven't been needing them as much as I think I do. Because even the most trained guy who talks about fundamentals, somebody can come out and say something that completely goes against what it should do. So I don't like getting wrapped up in it too much anymore because I've seen times where they say, oh, if the Fed rate low or this, that, the third, then it's going bullish, that. But I've seen the shit drop and it showed me like, I'm not listening to nobody. I'm just going to show the charts is going to show me more than anybody can tell me. That's how I'm gonna go about it. I put the fundamentals on my chart to know what times I might need to avoid to even get in the market. So if I'm not in the markets, but news is about to come out, within a few minutes, or it all depends, because I might not even get in at all. I might completely stay all the way away from it, or news might end up setting up for the direction and give you a clear direction, like this is where we're going. And people kind of get scared because, oh, it's news, it's a fear around it. But do you want your TP to hit now, or do you want to wait like 5 days? Because it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, don't get scared of the volatility. So news might come up, set up, double top, all these things for you to get in sales, but you're scared of just the news event itself, which is okay, because you can blow your account. You can, but me personally, I'm not putting in money that I'm going to be fucked up about.
Yeah,
so
that you can't lose.
Yeah, so if I'm putting it in there and I'm already got this the setup, the risks, everything look good. News is about to come out in a few minutes, and it's showing me everything I need to. I get in on that move, because I know that news is gonna give me like a quick move. Even if it goes in my favor quickly, I can get out and then wait again after it's died down, and then we still got till after the news event the rest of the day. And then I'm trying to get out of my trading day. Since I'm only trading New York, I try to get out of my trading day before like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So I'm all the way closed out.
Same.
Even then though, on my journey is where you have to realize to be dynamic, because it's not always going to be like that. You're going to wake up for weeks every New York, and it's not like moving right, and it's consolidating. You're getting frustrated, you're getting mad, like what is going on? If my strategy broke, do I have to like switch something up? It's not that. Your setups are setting up in London. Your entries are in London, not New York. So it's been times where I changed my sleep schedule to navigate around how I'm trading, so I can continue to trade right. So in those seasons, to where somebody might say, don't trade during this time, don't trade during that time, it's all up to you and what the markets is saying. So when I see Nas doing something that it's like in a weird, funky vibe, then I adjust to what Nas is doing. I don't try to like force myself. I'm gonna go, oh, if you're setting up during London every time, then I'm gonna start catering to you, because that's all we can do. Or we wait to New York and keep dealing with the BS. So
yeah, you're meeting the market where it's at.
Yeah.
What do you? I'm interested to know, whenever you first got started, obviously prop firms weren't as big as they are now. I mean, FTMO was around. Some of the big hitters.
That's who I got funny with first.
Okay, yeah, most people. I believe that prop firms, I mean, of course, the opportunity to access more capital is a hurdle that a lot of traders have to navigate when they first get started. Now, access to prop firms and having access to have more capital, I don't want to say it eliminates that obstacle, but it diminishes it. Prop firms have parameters. Of course, you can't trade as freely as you do on your own live capital. But again, I see that as an invitation to become a more disciplined trader.
Yeah, definitely.
What is your viewpoint on prop firms?
That definitely added into how I trade, because it was a time where I thought like that. Okay, you're trading. You can utilize these prop firms to get the capital that you want to make, the money that you want to make. So go get the bag from them, and then you can deposit the money and make the money you really, really, really want to make. So that's how I was thinking about it. So it's a great opportunity. I just had like bad experiences with prop firms that actually pushed me to make more money on my live account. They gave me the discipline and the way that I trade to go take that and put it on my live account and make more money than I was when I was just kind of like no parameters, willy-nilly with it, and more like wide open. The prop firms kind of like brought me closer to a pinpoint direction of, okay, if we already, it's like, it's weird. It's just like when you deposit more money, you trade differently than when you deposit lesser money, because I noticed that about myself. Like, I immediately have a different type of approach to the markets depending on capital. So
and how does that, what have you noticed? Like, let's say you deposit,
you're trying to be pickier with stuff. Like, you're like, oh no, it's just like, oh, I'm gonna wait. Now all of a sudden, all that rushing and now you're more disciplined and you're laid back, and now you want to be more patient. That's what I noticed. But that's all the mentality. That was the funniest part about it, because if you're able to be very self-aware, then you can notice stuff instantly. So when I deposited, I instantly felt the difference, because I'm like, bro, you don't do this. You deposit that money, you trying to get in right now, but you deposit now, all of a sudden you're trying to tiptoe around and watch. So it's definitely the mindset behind the prop firms, because you got to tiptoe. You got to make sure that you're going to obey all the rules. You're not going to get breached. You're not going to break the daily drawdown, stuff like that. So off rip, your mentality is different. So taking that mentality into a live account is off the rip going to help you. So that's definitely what transformed. So I had took a step back, and this was the beginning of this year, to where I was going heavy on getting funding and all that. I had like goals in my head. Yeah, you're going to hit 5 M's plus in funding, all that. But then, like, once I had the incident that I had, I completely just like go back live, and you've been doing this for them. You could do it for yourself. You don't need nobody. And like, when I get mad, I'm able to transmute that energy into a positive light. So I'm in my room pacing back and forth. Like, we going to figure this out. Pull out the calculator, and you just like doing math like I'm a compound this, and I done did this many pips, and I swear to God, I'm just walking back and forth like a crazy man trying to figure this out. But that's really what it was, like taking the prop firm mentality and the freedom of a retail, as a live account. And merging those two things together that took it off of me.
That's powerful. That really, really is. I mean, at the end of the day, the opportunity that the prop firms provide in giving,
because you're giving them good money, like because I'm getting 400K accounts and 200K accounts, so those are $2,000, $1,500, even $500. Those are substantial amounts to grow.
Yep.
So when you look at it like that, you're not giving them small. On top of that, when you think about how long it takes to get your first payout, then for some people, how long it takes to pass phase 1, phase 2, that might take a while. Those are real market moves. You can grow an account taking the same moves you're taking. So once you combine that mindset on a live account, you get really, really good results.
Yep. Taking the capital from the prop firms.
Funding
your live account and building it in that way. Is key. People are going to be tuning into this interview from all different stages, right? Someone who's maybe this is their first exposure. Maybe they have been trading for years. They haven't gotten funded yet. They're applying for challenges, whatever the case may be. What would you say to someone who is just getting started, who is wanting to learn how to trade, eventually has the goals to be funded through prop firm to then, of course, grow their own live capital as well? What advice would you give to them?
For somebody who just came into the game.
Just getting started,
Education, number one, get your skill set right, refine your skill set. And once you're confident, and confidence comes from data. So once you have enough data to back what you've been doing, your strategy, and you see that over time, this is how much I win, this is how much I lose, and then you like, okay, this is proven, tested, then you want to, in that time that you're learning and building your skill set, you want to be saving as much money as you can, because you are in the financial industry. You cannot do anything in this game without putting up some type of financial something. So get your finances up, try to save as much money as you can, whether that be to invest in more challenges or to invest in more live accounts. Because if you're new, don't think that first one is going to be the one that take you to the moon. Just have that in your mind that it's going to take some time, and you're not going to probably grow that first account, and be okay with not growing that first account. Be okay with not growing your first 10 accounts. Be okay with not passing a couple challenges. But the thing is, if you've got the data, then you should be seeing real results. If you're constantly blowing challenges, blowing accounts, not seeing like real growth, it's because you don't have enough data. You don't, and without the data, you can't do anything. So get your data up, which comes from finding a strategy, education. Once you get that, then you go to the markets and you apply what you learn. your way with your mind, right? With the way that you trade, because you might learn from him, but you don't got the same thoughts as him. You don't even have the same years of experience in the nuances. So somebody might teach you something, but they're not teaching you the meticulous details on how they think. Oh, this, that, don't know. They're telling you the baseline level. So you have to take their baseline level with your psychology and see what your results is, because the strategy itself, with his mindset, he might get 80%. The strategy overall is maybe a 70% winning strategy. This guy might get it up to 80 and you might be at a 60 and you need to get it up to 70. So you got to figure out where you're at and then just keep tweaking until you get in that sweet spot, and then start applying pressure once you see you're in that sweet spot.
How has your vision changed from the moment you started to gain profitability up until this point? The vision that you have for yourself and the legacy that you want to create through this?
I feel like nothing has changed for me my whole entire life. I just feel like everything is just a stepping stone for me to get closer there. So it's just more so telling me that it's like the reassurance. It got to a point in my time, point in my life to where that weight on my shoulders is gone, because it was like, I gotta. But it was like, now I'm just gonna let everything happen. And once I started doing that, everything else started. Once you just know that you good, and that don't even mean like, oh, I'm gonna be making $1 million or no. Like, once you just know you're good in life in general, outside of trading, outside of anything, that like you're just gonna be okay. Then that's when like stuff starts to flow, because we try to force everything in life, and that's what it was like. Now I'm more at ease with a lot of things in my life, and more at peace with those things. And then that kind of transpired into like how I move and how I think.
Okay. We're ending of the year. It's 2023. What exciting things do you have coming up in 2024?
Man, it's going to be crazy, because 2024 is definitely going to be a movie. 2023, best year of my life so far. 2024, we already know life doesn't do anything but continuously go up. I'm going to keep pushing. We have the brand Trader Threads. Is going to be very, 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 very huge. All of your trader gear, trader needs, we're going to be there to fulfill it and make sure that you look and fly while you're doing it. That's definitely something that I can't wait to bring to people. So that's number one for 2024. And other than that, just like pushing this skill set and pushing the brands that we're creating, and just staying tunnel vision, like staying away from any drama and just keeping this strong mindset and building a community of people who resonate with this message, to where we're stronger together, because it is a lonely journey. And I want to kind of bridge the gap in between that.
I love that. Well, I'm excited to see what comes for you in this upcoming year. And I want to thank you so much for this conversation. Again, I was just thinking, I was like, okay, as soon as we're done here, I'm going to my phone and going to my notes to jot down some of the things that I have in my head through this conversation. So I appreciate it. Where can people find you online, Donyell?
Tap in with me, the Flip King, THA, Flip King on every platform. I keep it simple for you guys. Okay. Appreciate y'all for tapping in, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in to the interview. Again, make sure to like this video and subscribe so you are always in the know when we're posting next. If you feel called, also leave a comment and let us know the biggest takeaway that you received out of this conversation. And that's it. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.